On Cowick Street in Exeter, a bustling thoroughfare nestled in the heart of South Devon, where quaint shops line the pavement and the city's ancient spirit hums beneath modernity, stands a modest Newsagents, its windows papered with headlines, its shelves brimming with sweets and smokes. Beneath its unassuming facade lies a haunting legacy, one that stirred in 1955 when the ghosts of a skeleton and a boy emerged from an understairs cupboard, long sealed until the shop's occupants pried it open for extra storage. A spectral face rushed at them before vanishing. A boy glided through a window, and though the cupboard was resealed and the building enlarged, the tale of those apparitions lingers, a whisper of tragedy and mystery etched into the walls of this Exeter Newsagents. The story begins in the late 18th century, when Cowick Street was a rougher edge of Exeter, its cobbles trodden by sailors, tradesmen, and the city's underbelly. The building that would become the Newsagents was then a narrow tenement, its upper floors rented to transient families, its ground floor a grocer's shop catering to the working poor. Beneath the creaking staircase was a small cupboard, barely 3 feet square, used by the grocer to store sacks of grain or contraband tobacco slipped in from Bristol's docks. In 1789, a tragedy unfolded within those walls, one that would bind souls to the cupboard's darkness. Hannah Penrose, a seamstress of 30 winters, lived on the top floor with her son, Jacob, a boy of 12 summers, known in the street as Black Jacob for his coal dark hair and eyes, a trait inherited from a Caribbean sailor father he'd never known. Hannah eked out a living mending sailor's shirts, her fingers nimble despite the hunger that gnawed at her and Jacob. One November night, a lodger, a brutish sailor named Nathaniel Cobb, returned drunk from the quayside, his temper ablaze over a lost wager. He cornered Hannah in her room, demanding payment for a debt she couldn't owe. And when she resisted, his fists turned lethal. Jacob, hearing her cries, rushed in, a boy against a beast, and Nathaniel struck him down with a single blow, the lad's head cracking against the hearth. Hannah's scream was cut short by a knife to her throat, her blood pooling on the floorboards as Nathaniel fled into the night. Fearing discovery, Nathaniel dragged their bodies to the understairs cupboard, its cramped space a grim hiding hole. He sealed it with planks and mortar, the grocer below complicit for a share of stolen coin, and the crime vanished into rumor. Hannah and Jacob presumed runaways, Nathaniel long gone before dawn. The tenement changed hands, the cupboard remained sealed, and the grocer's shop became a Newsagents by the 20th century, its history buried beneath layers of plaster and time. Yet the spirits of Hannah and Jacob lingered, her skeletal form a whisper of her final terror, his boyish shade a restless echo of a life cut short, bound to the cupboard where their bodies decayed in secret. In 1955, the Newsagents, now called Penrose's News, ironically owned by a distant cousin unaware of the family tie, was thriving under Edward Trenoweth, a jovial man in his 50s with a knack for selling papers and penny sweets. The shop's stockroom overflowed, its shelves groaning, and Edward decided to unseal the understairs cupboard for extra space. A relic of the building's past, its boards warped and nailed shut since memory began. On a rainy October afternoon, he and his assistant, Bessie Vinicombe, a sharp-eyed girl of 22, pried off the planks with a crowbar, the wood splintering to reveal a dank hollow barely lit by the shop's dim bulb. The air inside was heavy, smelling of mold and something sharper, decay, perhaps, though decades had erased any trace beyond dust. As Bessie swept away cobwebs, a rustling stirred within, a faint, scratching whisper that set Edward's nerves on edge. "Who's there?" he called, thinking a rat had nested inside, though the sound was too deliberate, too rhythmic. Bessie stepped back, her broom poised, when a spectral face appeared, a man's visage, hollow-cheeked and eyeless, its mouth gaping like a scream frozen in time. It rushed toward them, its edges shimmering like smoke, closing the gap in a heartbeat before vanishing 2 feet from their startled faces. Bessie gasped, her broom clattering to the floor, while Edward stumbled back, his heart hammering as if the grim reaper himself had lunged from the dark. The cupboard fell silent, but the chill lingered, an icy breath that clung to their skin like damp cloth. Before they could flee, a second apparition stirred. A small black boy appeared through the cupboard's window, though no glass parted to let him in. His skin gleamed like polished ebony, his eyes wide with a child's fear, dressed in tattered breeches and a linen shirt stained with time. He glided noiselessly along the passage, his steps silent on the stone floor, his gaze fixed on some unseen horizon as he vanished into the shadows near the stairwell. Bessie clutched Edward's arm, her voice trembling. "Did you see that?" And Edward nodded, his pragmatism shattered by the sight of the boy, so vivid yet so unreal, a ghost from another age. Shaken, Edward called for the cupboard to be resealed, new planks nailed tight, the space abandoned as a stockroom, and hired builders to enlarge the shop outward instead, adding a wing for storage that avoided the understairs entirely. The hauntings ceased, or so the reports claim. No more spectral faces, no more gliding boys, though whispers lingered among the staff. Bessie, rattled by the experience, sought answers from a local historian named Gideon Hoare, who, in 1956, uncovered fragments of Hannah and Jacob's tale in parish records and old tavern gossip. He pieced together their likely fate, a seamstress and her son murdered in the tenement, their bodies hidden beneath the stairs, their spirits bound by violence to the cupboard's darkness. In 1979, a new assistant named Josiah Pudicombe, unaware of the history, heard faint whispers while restocking near the sealed cupboard, words too soft to catch, though they carried a boy's lilt, and felt a chill brush his neck, as if unseen eyes watched from the shadows. In 1995, a delivery woman named Miriam Trenoweth, unloading papers at dawn, glimpsed a skeletal hand through the shop's rear window, though the cupboard remained sealed, its boards untouched since '55. The Newsagents, still Penrose's news, thrives on Cowick Street, its customers oblivious to the tragedy beneath, though the staff tread lightly near the staircase, their ears pricked for whispers, their eyes wary of shadows. On rainy nights, some claim to smell damp earth near the cupboards, seem a faint echo of the crime that sealed Hannah and Jacob's fate. A mother and son, bound by love and loss, their spirits stilled but not forgotten in the understairs darkness of Exeter. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, follow, subscribe and comment below.